When telling the story of Darius, it is necessary to separate two different levels of narration. The first is Darius' own voice, represented most clearly in the Behistun inscription and in official Persian royal ideology. The second level consists of perspectives that stand outside this self-presentation, including modern historical interpretations, Babylonian administrative records, and Greek sources. This distinction matters because Darius was not only an emperor but also one of the earliest rulers to understand how power must explain itself in order to survive. Divine legitimacy and cosmic order. In the Behistun inscription, Darius begins his story from a position of absolute certainty. He does not present his rise to power as a political process or historical accident. Instead, he frames it as the direct result of divine will. He states that Ahura Mazda granted him kingship. From this point onward, the world is divided into two opposing principles, truth and lie. Darius places himself entirely on the side of truth, while his opponents are consistently associated with falsehood. This opposition is not merely moral but cosmic. It concerns the very order of the universe. Gaumata as the embodiment of falsehood. With this framework, the figure of Gaumata becomes central. According to Darius, Gaumata was not a legitimate king, but a deceiver who falsely claimed royal identity and misled the people. Gaumata represents disorder, deception, and the collapse of rightful rule. Darius' act of killing him is therefore not described as an act of political violence, but as the restoration of cosmic and moral balance. In this narrative, Darius is not a usurper eliminating a rival, but a savior figure who rescues the world from chaos. Rebellion as deception. The revolts that follow Darius' accession are presented in exactly the same way. Uprisings in regions such as Babylonia, Media, Lydia, and Egypt are never described as legitimate resistance or political dissent. Instead, they are framed as rebellions led by liars who attempt to deceive the people. Each victory over these rebels is portrayed as another triumph of truth over falsehood. What is striking here is the complete absence of legitimate opposition. In Darius' narrative, there is only order or chaos, truth or lie. There is no space for disagreement. The ideal image of kingship. The image of kingship that emerged from the Behistun inscription is carefully constructed. Darius presents himself as just, firm, law-abiding, and chosen by the god. He does not rule arbitrarily, but enforces the universal order. According to his own account, the world had fallen into disorder, and throughout his rule, balance was restored. This is the core message of Behistun. Modern historical reassessment. However, when we step outside this self-representation, the picture becomes more complex. Modern historians have raised serious questions, particularly regarding the figure of Gaumata. It remains unclear whether Gaumata was truly an impostor or whether he was a rival ruler, whose legitimacy was later denied by Darius. While Darius did have a connection to the Achaemenid royal line, this connection was not particularly strong. As a result, many scholars argue that Darius' rise to power resembled a successful military coup, more than a divinely sanctioned succession. From this perspective, the Behistun inscription functions as a text of legitimation, designed to transform political violence into moral necessity. Babylonian administrative perspective. Babylonian administrative records offer yet another view. In these texts, Darius appears neither as a heroic savior nor as a monstrous tyrant. Instead, he is a ruler concerned with taxation, administration, and stability. These sources emphasize efficiency and control rather than ideology or divine mission. The Darius that emerged from Babylonian records is a pragmatic and disciplined state builder, focused on maintaining order throughout bureaucracy. Greek counter-narratives. Greek sources, especially those written in the context of the Persian Wars, present Darius as an Eastern despot. They emphasize his absolute power, his vast armies, and the centralized nature of his rule. Yet these accounts are also deeply shaped by political opposition. For the Greek world, Persia represented the greatest external threat to freedom and autonomy. As a result, Greek portrayals of Darius function as counter-propaganda, reflecting their own ideological concerns as much as historical reality. Power, narrative, and legacy. In conclusion, when all these perspectives are considered together, it becomes clear that there is no single definitive version of Darius. In the Byzantine inscription, he is the chosen agent of divine truth. In modern historical analysis, he is a powerful ruler who carefully constructed his legitimacy through narrative. Most importantly, Darius demonstrates an early understanding that power does not rely on force alone, but also on storytelling. For this reason, the Byzantine inscription should be read not only as a historical document, but as an early manifesto of political legitimacy and imperial propaganda.